Okay, today we've got this VS GTS. Now it came into us in this very neat form with essentially a built stroker engine, or the standard engine, which is a 355, in a built form. So forged pistons, H-beam rods. It had a com manifold, aluminium heads, some com heads, all put together in a combination that was okay, but it wasn't quite what the customer wanted it to be. A bit low on its power, a bit low on the torque. He wanted a fair bit more, so we've gone through and done a complete reconfiguration of it. So we've rebuilt the engine, so we put different pistons and rods, a com crankshaft, a bit stronger, less likely to break, and then pistons to suit the compression ratio, rods to suit the crankshaft, a roller camshaft. It was a solid roller, we've changed it to a hydraulic roller, roller lifters, and then reconfigured everything to make all that work. And then we put on the 2400 Yellow Terror, or the Whipple supercharger system with a Yellow Terror manifold and bits and pieces. We've done a bit of custom work, as we normally do, to set it all up like it is. We've also changed over the clutch, put a big single plate clutch, modified the fairly horrible standard system, which has the cable over hydraulic. We've changed to a full hydraulic clutch system and put in a large custom single plate clutch. We've also gone through and done a full exhaust system, so changed it from a twin 2.5 to a twin 3-inch, done all the custom work up the front to get the big cats in there and the big system in there, and then put a full twin pump fuel system in it. So it's a two-stage fuel system, as we tend to do nowadays. It actually has one pump running up to around the 5 psi, and over 5 psi we bring the second pump in, so that we've got good fuel right through to the end of the run. There's also run a large air cleaner system and an MSD ignition system in it. And as I said, this is actually brand new. This is its run-in tune. It is pretty warm. We're in the sort of 38 degrees. I don't want to push any harder at the moment. It's all doing it very nice and safely. It's running very, very carefully. Not the sort of weather I'd be suggesting trying to use the car in, but in a controlled environment of the dyno, we've got nice control over things, and we can see how it works in fairly extreme conditions. We are not quite finished. We haven't finished our intercooler system. There's a large reservoir I'm going to put down the front corner. I've moved the battery to the back of the car. I'm waiting for some hard bits to finish fabricating the intercooler reservoir and the catch can to go in the front corner of the car where the battery used to be. But it's still in a good form, and basically we can show the owner his car making some noise on the dyno. I'll come over to the graph and we'll show where we're actually at the moment. Essentially, that's our horsepower run. We're up in the 550, but we're also seeing the sort of 95, 97 degrees of intake temperature because we don't have enough water in the system, and it's pretty warm weather. So yeah, we're probably going to see, listen, I'd expect around the 590 to 605, that sort of horsepower, around the 600 reval horsepower once we get the intercooler properly, and we're in moderate weather, the sort of 30 degrees, 25 to 30 degrees sort of day, but it's still going very well. Good horsepower, as you can see, in comparison to what it was. The torque improvements at there, which is around about the 1800 revs, is absolutely massive. We've gone from 54 horsepower down there up to, what have we done? That's 3.5 times the power at 1800 revs. In here we're in around the 3000 revs. We're over nearly 3.5 times as well then, from 85 horsepower to 274 horsepower. So we come up into here around the 4.5, so normal sort of driving, gentle driving, it's in the double the horsepower. If you come right up to the top here, from the 320, like I said, not quite going quite as well as you expect for a solid cam 355, but still not terrible at 320 horsepower at the tyres. Well, there's still a good 230 horsepower more, so a huge increase. You see down there our mixtures are nice, we're not pushing anything, we're in the 12.5s, 12.7s, sort of 12.6s, nice sort of numbers. Over on the boost, where it's picking up on the manifold, it just reads a little bit high right at the top end, but we're sort of coming into just on around about the 14.5, 15 pounds of boost. Right at the top end, we're sitting on around the 13 pounds of boost through the mid-range, and we're starting down at the 1500 revs at the 10 pounds of boost. So this thing, we'll go through and finish it. We've got to put our reservoir in, we've got to finish off the tune, just neaten things up. But this thing is going to be one very, very quick little 355 GTS.